Hey guys, just here letting the court dry a little bit, so I thought I would shoot a quick video on how to have a smoother swing. So what I tend to see with my lessons, or if I'm just watching some recreational players, is the racket doesn't naturally stop. So when I see a natural stop, I mean the racket kind of leads me to a stop where my shoulder, my dominant shoulder kind of turns and it's more in front of me. My racket hits my non-dominant arm, shoulder, hip, wherever you're finishing. We're not really going over the finishing, it's just where you're finishing. Like, it's not as important as how you're finishing. So is it a relaxed motion, right? So I see a lot of this where the player will finish and there's a gap between the racket and the arm and the shoulder. So that means the arm took over and stopped the racket from going all the way through the ball. So even though you don't realize this, you actually decelerated through that ball, and that gives you less control. So we want to make sure that you have a smoother swing so that you can have more control on the ball. So you want to swing and accelerate through that ball, and it gives you a lot more control. So that will also alleviate not only more control, it'll help with control. It's also going to help with keeping your arm healthy. A lot of tennis elbow happens when the tension in your forearms are being used too much because you're taking that grip and you're stopping your racket too much, and that's not allowing you to have a natural swing with less motion in or less tension in your arm. So to try to check this out to see how you're feeling, because you might be like, well, I think I do have a smooth swing. Well, take a racket. You can tell I have something new, a little different in my hand. I got a racket with no strings. So this is my old high school racket, a little Prince Response from the 90s. And it doesn't matter what racket you have, but I want you to take a ball and I want you to swing. So the test is, how much tension do you feel there? Did you feel tension? I felt tension on that swing. You probably could see it a little bit. So even if you're swinging through, do you feel like you're letting are you letting the racket go to the ball, or are you kind of guiding the racket to the ball? When you guide the racket to the ball, you lose power, and you also lose control if you're hitting with some spin, and you're just not taking advantage of your capacity to hit the ball hard. So what I'd like to see is, take that racket and take a swing and swing all the way through, and you're swinging through. That racket naturally stopped here. It was a natural stop for me. It was not a forced. I didn't feel any tension in my arm, and that felt great. So this is a great indicator for a smooth swing. So you can do that on your backhand too. Take a swing. Oh, I framed it, right? So the idea is, when players frame it, do they swing all the way through still? And that's a beautiful way for me to see if the player is swinging through. So if they frame it and they're like this, that's not a good swing. But if they frame it and they swing all the way through like I just did, that's great, because pros frame the ball all the time, right? But they swing through the ball. They don't stop their swing. The framing is timing. It's not the smoothest of their swing, right? So, okay, you start working on this and you realize maybe that you have some tension. You're dropping the ball and you're like, okay, I can kind of feel that. How do I fix that? Well, lots of repetition, right? So you want to start maybe getting a lot of people maybe a friend to feed some balls to you, or a ball machine, and try it without strings for a while, and then use your racket and see if you can duplicate that same feeling once you start getting that smooth swing. I call it trust issues. A lot of players don't trust the racket. You got to swing all the way through, even when you frame a ball, right? So when I swing through that ball, I'm going to go all the way through, and I want to feel that tension evaporate. So once I start going forward, there is zero tension. I go all the way through, hit my back, be very relaxed, okay? So you need a lot of repetition on this. Maybe you need to turn faster, see the ball earlier. Maybe you need to get prepped and maybe start your swing earlier, something like that. But you got to be thinking as you go to get that tension out of your arms so you can have a beautiful swing. This could happen with your serve too. Might be a little weird, but when you throw that ball up and you go up to that ball, how much tension is in that shoulder and the arm. Are you going up through it with lots of racket head speed, or are you kind of guiding it? So a good indicator for all your strokes. So hope that helped. Good, happy training, and good luck.